Welcome, everybody, to... I forgot the name of my own show. That's so embarrassing. Jimmy Fame presents Bonus Against the Machine. More pod for your bod. Sponsored by Charlie the Lizard Folks Chicken Emporium. More cluck for your buck. I'm not your host. I'm just Sam. Today we've got a couple guests, one of whom will be running the show for us, but we're going to start with introducing the other guest because I like to keep things confusing. So, other guests, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and plug your show?
Thanks for having me. My name is Sam. My name is Jeff, and I am from the Astronomica podcast. It's a Stars Without Number actual play podcast. Stars Without Number is an OSR sci-fi setting. And I play the weird medbot and the semi-malevolent AI.
I have a dog who is trying to break down my office doors. He is a Shih Tzu, which means he has separation anxiety. Hi, I'm your host. My name is Sam. I am the GM of the Hopper. You can't interrupt every podcast I record.
It really adds to it that we can just barely see him in the background there.
Yeah, I can see the door move a little bit.
Yeah. I'm going to start that again. Hi. My name is also Sam. I am the host of the podcast Dungeon Dive Bar in Emerald Spire Super Dungeon playthrough. I am the GM, and I am also going to be your MC for today's bonus episode, I guess, since this is a Session 0 type episode of a system I found on a whim, and I've shown it to everyone, and everyone goes, this was made for you. I present Sentai and Sensibility, a Regency-era Super Sentai Tokusatsu-themed actual play. The game itself is a very fun system. I don't have to do anything. That's the greatest gift a game master can have. So going back, Sentai and Sensibility is a role-playing game created by 9th Level Games. They also created some other games that I'm a fan of, such as Business Wizards or Bizzards. And they're somewhere on Kickstarter, the internet. I don't actually know what else they've done. Those are the two games I've played, but I've had a lot of fun playing them. The way Sentai and Sensibility works is it's very much like you took an episode of Power Rangers and an episode of Super Sentai, which are two very different things. A lot of people get angry if you say they're the same. But instead of being 90s high schoolers like we all grew up with, or in Sam's case was a young adult during, 1992 was the debut of Power Rangers.
I was still pretty young in 1992. Barely a senior citizen by that point.
And Super Sentai, which debuted in 1975, which means this year, 2025, is the 50th year anniversary of it. And I will not shut up about it, and my friends are miserable. So you take those two things, but instead of being in Japan or California, you're in Regency-era England, with all of the frills and whistles and technology that implies. How's that sound to you guys?
That sounds like a heck of a lot of fun.
It sounds absolutely amazing, and I am very stoked to play it.
I'm glad, because I'm very stoked to run it.
I only wish I'd done some Jane Austen reading before this, just to, prime the mood.
I'm glad you said that, because the rulebook...
Sensibility and Sea Monsters.
The rulebook actually calls that out. Where is it? It's in Lesson 0, because our playbook is actually a manual on how to do the dance of Super Sentai. After all, the character sheets are dance cards, and I am your master of ceremonies. But a note on monarchy and the Regency period from the handbook. This is a game about Sentai Rangers if they are written by Jane Austen or one of her vaulted contemporaries. We play fast and loose with history, tradition, gender expectations, countries, and just about anything else. The Regency period was one of rampant colonialism, sexism, and many more vile and vicious things, but this is a game where we are striving for fun and freedom. The Queen is good, the Crown is righteous, and society is accepting of all genders, races, and identities. Join us as we all live in a better world for a few hours, where it is easy to spot the evil monsters and just punch them all in the face. That is in the handbook.
If only the evil monsters were so easy to spot
If only.
in the present day.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the Polymorph School of Etiquette and Kaiju Fighting, where we will now create your dance cards for our vaulted evening. Are you gentlemen ready?
Yes.
As ready as I'll ever be.
As you are my performers for the evening.
I'm charging at it like a high stepper at the gate.
Excellent, excellent. So, before we begin, we must learn how to dance. Which means we must pick your characters. There are 4 characters in Sentient Sensibility, each associated with a different die. If you will go to page... we are on page 36 in the rulebook.
I do have to cut in with a digression. Hopper is the name of the robot that I play on Astronomica, so that's extra.
That's extra funny. Hopper is my Shih
That's
Tzu,
amazing.
who is coming up because he wants to be held like a little baby.
Yeah, I connected the two about like 30 seconds after Hopper the dog started kicking the door. I was like, oh, wait.
Hopper,
God, they
You wanna
all
be
look
held
pretty
like a
much
little baby?
exactly the same.
you only got a few more months of this before you are replaced with a human baby.
My brother-in-law's mother has a Shih Tzu, and he looks exactly like that. I don't think I've ever seen Shih Tzus that don't look like... They have very little variation, it seems like.
They're the species of domesticated dog most closely related to wolves. That's a real fact. You can look it up.
Wouldn't be surprised, because I know they're a super old breed, so I would not
Yep.
be surprised.
They were for Chinese nobles to have foot warmers.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, because, like, and it was, like, old China, like, pre-freaking AD China.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, judging by appearances, they're most closely related to Ewoks.
Yeah. That, too.
Well, he does look like he was made by the Jim Henson Company when he needs to be groomed. So you're not too far off. So we have 4 stations in our dance card. We have the D4, the Premier, the Ronin, the D6, the Hussar, the D8, and the Dragoon, the D10. Whatever station you pick, that is the only die you will roll for the whole night. Now, you might go, but Sam, some of the options on the dance cards require you to roll above a 4. That's correct. The Premier cannot make those rolls because the Premier is dedicated to the social aspects of being a Sentient Sensibility Ranger. But it also means that every other Ranger and station has a lower chance of success on those rolls. So much like a Power Ranger team or a Sentai Squadron, yes, I'm aware that I just said the Squadron, having the correct balance of your Sentai is just as important as everybody having a good time. Because it would stink if you just can't get past the social challenge.
If we're all a bunch of effete upper-class wastrels, none of us can fight.
The cast of Blackadder.
Luckily, vans haven't been invented yet in the Regency era, so...
Or have they?
Oh, no.
Or have they? So, Sam, what station would you like?
Oh, God.
I'm making you pick first.
I shouldn't have spoken. It's always my mistake. Just scrolling through these quickly. I feel like I am not at all qualified for social skills, so I'm going to go for one of the ones in the middle to kind of hedge my bets here. I'll go with the D6. I'll go with the Ronin.
You are the Ronin, the warrior, the wanderer. You know a little bit about everything. You are decent with your weapon and have some education, but are still looking for your place in the world. and you excel in etiquette and footwork. Brashly display your D6, Sam. Excellent.
It's invisible.
I was going to say it doesn't actually show up.
Jeff, what would you
Yes.
like?
I suppose I'll go for the D8.
The Hussar. You are bold and adventurous, a well-trained soldier. Keen are your skills on horseback, whether in battle or riding with your paramour. You shine when rolling dueling and vigor, and the least likely to take a blow. Take in hand your D8.
It's online.
It's virtual. And Giro, you have two options left.
Yeah. I can either go full combat or I can go etiquette. And
Well-
thinking...
Well, and I think etiquette is actually all the mental. It's
Yeah, so I'll go
Aspects,
into
right.
what the four skills, the four groupings are once Giro picks his station.
I feel like I had just sitting out here the D4s I used for Izzy's game, but I apparently put them away already. So I'm exactly as close to grabbing either of the two dice, so that makes my decision harder.
oh, you should roll for it.
You know what? Yeah. Me
But what die are you rolling
grab
for?
a- Well, I pulled a D4 out, so you know what? Just gonna do that. So I will go ahead and go with the premiere.
The quickest with wits and words, you take the time to scour ancient texts and know every custom. No detail can escape your ever-vigilant eyes, and you are always ready to form a plan. You are the best at etiquette and the most likely to roll their honor or hero. Carry with you your D4. And that leaves our mysterious extra ranger, a Sentai and Power Rangers staple, to be the Dragoon, the D10. Taking the hardest of hits for the party, you ride right into the thick of battle. Efficient both with your blade, your sword, and a gun, you are always there to strike back at any foe. The Dragoon has the most vigor and a keen resistance to getting the vapors in a fight, and they shall take up the mantle of the D10. There's 6 skills on your resolution card. Honor, etiquette, footwork, dueling, vigor, and hero. Honor is if you fumble, basically. You roll a natural 1, you can invoke your honor to try a challenge again. A hero roll is a 4, 6, 8, or 10. Those are criticals for those values. So, basically, your natural 20s equivalent. Etiquette is a 2 or 3. Footwork is a 3, 4, or 5. Dueling is a 4 through 7. And vigor is a 5 through 9. So, the skill breakdown is... So, we have our station. And now let's continue learning to dance by creating your Sentai. After all, are you really a Sentai if you don't have a goofy theme? And a common theme in general? So let us turn to our first chart of societies. You will need a D6 and a D10, whether physical or virtual. I don't know if we have a virtual dice bot channel set up for this. So Sam, I'd like you to roll me a D6.
How does a 6 sound?
A 6 is not an option on the chart. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4, 5.
There's a couple of spots in this PDF where I think where the numbering is off
Yes,
by
I
one.
believe they
partway
got it
through.
off by 1. Yeah. So, this is a cloak and dagger society. Roll me a D10 to decide what you are within this society, what your Sentai is.
I assume somebody
giving me
other
a
than me
dirty
is rolling the D10.
Oh,
here,
you gotta
I
roll the
gotcha.
D10.
I'm rolling
Finish
it?
out your chart.
All right,
Yeah, you're-
5.
5. That is thieves. You are thieves. You are a criminal Sentai.
Oh no.
So you are thieves, much like the 41st Sentai, Kaito Sentai Lupin Ranger, who were from the cop and robber themed Sentai season. They were the thieves, the Lupin Rangers. They were contracted by Arsène Lupin's, what's the word? Hopper, what's the word I'm looking
Descendant.
for? Estate. To capture the Lupin collection from the mafia that stole it. So you are cloak and dagger, some subterfuge perhaps? Maybe your identities are a little more secret than most Sentais are? But we move on to our next chart to determine more about our team. This is one where you're all going to roll individually. For we are in Regency era, which means you have a temperament, color, element, and season. Much like the 4 humors. So let us balance the humors within our bodies. We'll start with Giro this time. Roll me a d4 to determine your color. Or rather, your humor.
That is a 1.
You are a sanguine character. Roll me. Well, it says it's a d60, so you can do that in the virtual channel or in the.
It's just
we can roll a d6 and a d10.
Yeah, d6 and a d10 for it.
Oh wait, did that not? Oh wait, Roll'em doesn't use /R and R's, does it?
Right, it doesn't use anything for the commands.
Yeah.
It's just d60.
Yeah.
52.
52.
You are sanguine and serene. You are very calm, very grounded. Sam, roll me a d4.
A d4. I definitely have a d4. 2.
You are choleric.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Roll me a d60.
All right. 36.
You are pleasant.
Choleric and pleasant, eh?
Pleasant. Yes. And Jeff, roll for me a d4 and then a d60.
You got it.
You are also sanguine, but instead of being serene, you are jaunty.
Ha! Well, that's quite the bee's knees then, isn't it?
It sure is. So we have a serene sanguine, a jaunty sanguine, and a pleasant choleric. Exactly the disposition you want from criminals.
So the entirety of sanguine and serene is temperament. They're not two separate.
No, that is
on our
one thing.
card.
That is separate.
Okay.
That is the humor. That is your. That's the humor column you're rolling in. But now we have to roll on our element chart to determine your color within your humor. So we'll go backwards now. Jeff, roll me a d12.
Come on, Vermilion. Carmine. That'll work.
You are Carmine. Sam, roll me a d12.
That'll be a 7.
A 7. You are Gold. And Giro, roll me another d12. Now, realistically, we could have rolled this as a new set of d4, but it's more fun to keep it in your column.
That is a 7.
You are Maroon. So we have a Carmine Ranger, a Maroon Ranger, and a Gold Ranger so far. Now we get to the part that makes this a machine bonus. We are now at the Machina, your Zord in Power Rangers terms. So first we roll a d4, a d4, and a d6. So Giro, please roll me a d4 to determine what your mecha theme is.
That is a 3.
A 3. Oh, I'm sorry, I read the chart wrong. First is a d6 to determine which chart you pull from.
Okay, in that case, that is a 1.
A 1. So you're picking from chart 1. And you rolled a 3 on your d4, which is Vehicle Moderna. In this category, how fitting, of course, we have the fire wagon, the train, the bicycle, the aerial screw, the hot air balloon, the clockwork camel, the rickshaw, the carriage, and the buggy. You could, in fact, roll van. Giro, roll me a d10.
Oh, God, I hope it lands on a van. Let's see, that's a D100, but it'll work. That is a 10 on a D100, which I believe would be the same as a... Would that be a 1? You know what? Let me just roll an actual D10. Okay.
On a D percentile, the 10s it'd be a 1.
Okay, yeah. So a 1 again then.
The fire wagon. You are criminals who drive the fire wagons.
That's the perfect cover.
Yeah.
Well, at least
I mean,
Jerome has a
early-
fire wagon. Sam, why don't you roll me a d10 to determine your vehicle Moderna? Come on, 10.
Oh, I'm sorry. It will be... Oh, I thought that was an 8, but it's actually a 3, so it is a bicycle.
You ride a bicycle. And Jeff, your vehicle Moderna.
Rickshaw. I was about to laugh at the bicycle, but
I was hoping somebody would get rickshaw because I just love the idea of just harnessing yourself to this thing and running. Pulling it
I like the
behind
idea
you.
that when I'm not looking, you two tie your vehicles to the back of my rickshaw, and I'm actually pulling all of you.
Oh.
No, you tie Sam's bicycle to the front.
And then you sit in the seat.
Exactly. No, you get it. You turn it into a tandem bike, and you both ride on the rickshaw, pulling on the bicycle, pulling the rickshaw, and then Jerome's in a fire wagon. How that combines into a giant robot? That's your guys' ability to decide. I'm just facilitating. Next, we must choose your weapon mastery. You each get your own unique weapon. So, I need you to roll me a d6 and a d10 simultaneously. We'll start with Jeff this time. If you want to do that in the virtual dice spot, if you put brackets, you can roll them both simultaneously.
Got it.
You got a 5 and a 1. So that
All
is
right.
the crossbow. Your Sentai has a crossbow. Sam, d6 and d10, please.
Is a 4 on the D6 and a 7 on the D10.
You have the Tonfa. And Jiro.
Like the big
I wanna
boss man
also add
before
that-
me.
Right.
I want to tell you guys what my first time running this game players rolled. Because someone did get the Pall Mall mallet, which is a croquet mallet, but heavier.
Come on, gun.
That person named their character.
That is a 5 and a 9. Yes.
You got a
I got
musket!
a musket. That wasn't even the gun I was looking at. I was looking at flintlock pistol. But yes, I did in fact get a gun.
The character
Now-
who can't fight has a gun.
I want to
Well,
add...
exactly, because I can't fight, so I have a gun.
Yeah. Now, per the rules of Sentai Insensibility, all 3 of your weapons can combine to form a cannon.
Oh, yeah.
So by taking a tonfa, a musket, and a crossbow, you combine those to form a bigger musket. Basically.
Well, you mount the musket on the crossbow, and you shoot the tonfa out of it.
There you go. We have our weapon. There's actually a name for it later on in the rule book for what your, I believe it's called. There's so many names, so many things in here. Next for our list is our chart of henshin devices. This is how you will transform. You can choose to use your weapon as your henshin device. If we were playing this in person, I would also require of you to make a Sentai pose to go with your transformation, as is required by everything.
Obviously.
So, there is a chart, or you can create your own. The rules are kind of lackadaisical in all of this. I like using the chart because it adds humor to it.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to use your weapons, or do you want to use a device?
I feel compelled to use a device.
I'm
personally.
reading through the.
Now, I do want to
I'm
add,
reading through the devices now, and I definitely want to do a device.
you are not required to all use the same device, but you can. So, do you all want to roll for an individual device, or do you want to pick a device, or do you want to each roll and you pick the best of the 3 options?
Maybe this will influence things. I just rolled and got a 30, which is bow tie.
Oh, that is very good.
I hope somebody gets brick. That's amazing.
So, but I'm more than happy to choose a theme, or I'll go with the same.
Jiro, do you want to roll, or do you want to stick with bow tie?
Well, I wonder. Like, do we want to maybe narrow the roll based on the first roll? Like,
Just the 20 to 40 column?
yes, just like the column that includes bow tie, because they seem to be. Well,
Yeah,
if they
they
do
are.
or not. I was going to say they do seem to be kind of like, yeah, because it's like.
But if you do that, you lose out on the option of having a hurdy-gurdy as your transformation device.
yeah, or a piece of a brick.
Or a brick. Or an entire Go set. Roll me that D100.
This is a different half of a D10, but why not? That is a 85.
85 is a gauntlet.
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet. For the person who doesn't fight. A gauntlet.
Yes.
A gauntlet with a musket.
We're going to be the most confusing group. My character is going to be like decked out for combat and do nothing on the combat side of things.
Your character should be like an absolute monster, too.
Just shredded.
Yeah.
And Sam, what's your D100?
That would be a 63.
A 63 is a pair of goggles. So, do you each want to use your 3 items? Or do you want to pick one of those 3? They're all wearable items.
Yeah.
It's plausible deniability for the bow tie and the bow tie only, but
It is Regency era.
Well, you
Pull
could
a
be.
gauntlet.
You could have these could be your bicycling goggles.
that's true. It goes with the bicycle, and I like that look.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll stick with my goggles.
All right.
Yeah.
Dro, you're getting your
Yeah,
gauntlet.
I'm gonna stick with the
Your
gauntlet.
firefighting gauntlet, of course, for your fire wagon.
Yeah, I just imagine, like, I'm riding in a fire wagon with a musket, I'm trying to imagine like firing a gun wearing like a metal.
There's so
I guess
much
they have
happening.
enough finger.
It is fantastic.
Oh, maybe it could be like if it's a flintlock or a matchlock musket. Like maybe you have to have the gauntlet on so you don't blow your hand off.
Yeah, blow your arm.
You could
open
also be
from
a
the-
Fahrenheit 451 firefighter, and your fire wagon sets things on fire.
Well, I have the fire wagon because the flash pan on the musket, when it goes off, it just lights whatever is off to the right of me on fire. So the fire wagon.
You're thieves. Nothing says you can't be arsonists, too.
Well, notably, the mention of a fire wagon doesn't say anything about a horse to pull it.
Well, that's why I was
No, we attach
thinking
it to
that
the
it would
rickshaw.
be Shank's mare.
Yeah.
Now we must know oneself. You must notate your moniker upon the dance card. Your identity for all the other gentlefolk. There are many possibilities. They, she, it, he, royal we. Any combination. All of these, others not listed, are simply what you wish to be called. So,
Naming's
what
the
are your
hardest
characters'
part.
names? Yes, they are.
So I think since we're thieves, my name will be Cal G. Leostro.
Beautiful name.
You have a castle.
I mean, it's Regency era. You can have a castle.
Yeah. To stick with that exact same theme, I think my character is Arson Lupine.
Arsène Lupin.
So you do set fires.
Yes.
And our last name.
Pennington J. Farthing.
Pennington J. Farthing.
That's not a Lupin the Third pun. Sam.
I
You're not
don't.
doing it
I
right.
haven't seen. I don't have your cultural context.
It is a bike pun, though.
It is,
It is a
even
bike
though
pun.
I'm a few decades off.
Oh, you should go with what's the name of that really stupid Marvel villain with the tandem bicycle?
Oh.
Turner D Century.
Or Mugen Rider.
Turner D Century.
Wait, is it Mugen or Kamen? I can never remember.
Oh yeah, no, Moomin Rider, licenseless
Rider.
rider.
Yes, he's a
Yeah.
pun on the parody of the Kamen Rider, which is the contemporary
Yeah.
and sister series to Super Sentai.
Yeah. Yeah, and Moomin is like you don't have your driver's license. So it's a
Licenseless
play
rider.
on that and Common Rider.
Yes. I love Moomin Rider. He's such a good guy. He does his best.
He really
He
does.
tries.
Now we are at some more details to flesh out your characters. You will have a rival and a confidant. Little is more important than establishing your place in society. Once you have concluded your rendezvous for the week, we're not doing this is a one-shot, but your confidant and rival are important because it gives me, NPCs, to screw with you guys. So, let's start with your confidant. Your confidant could be your paramour, your partner in land dealings, or that rogue that rescued you from a surprise attack. This is the person you have significantly favorable dealing with during a rendezvous and wish to continue that relationship through next week's schedule. They act more favorably towards your meetings, and you will have advantage when rolling any dance step with your confidant. What is the name of your confidant, Jiro?
Oh, geez, we're starting with me. Let me see. Who would be my confidant?
I'm doing the Sam what they did to Ryan Stiles on every episode of Who's Line that involves singing. He just gets to go last so he can look like a deer in headlights thinking of a name. No, you cannot. All right.
Problem is, I'm going first and looking like a deer in headlights thinking of a name. Because I
want us to come back to you?
Improvisation.
While you go look up Lupin the Third character names. Jeff, did you have time to look up a Lupin character on the Lupin wiki? Oh.
Yeah, come back to me. I'll think of something.
This is actually from history.
Mom Mandelbaum.
Frederica Mandelbaum, one of the most notorious fences and one of the first female criminal underbosses.
It's your fence, your best friend, maybe your paramour, maybe not.
Mom Mandelbaum.
Maybe one sordid tryst that was agreed to never speak
She's
of
my
again.
fence.
Speaking of sordid tryst, Jiro.
I got one because that reminded me of a completely different anime character. So I'm going to go with my confidant is a phantom thief, like a cat burglar-esque figure named Siren.
Siren.
Yeah.
And she is one of your partners in crime, perhaps.
Yes.
An excellent name for an excellent thief. And Sam.
We're doing confidants. That's
Yes,
what it's called.
Yes. And after this
My
is rival, so
confidant.
you will need a second name.
Yes, I already have my second name. I jumped over the confidant, and then I forgot that I had to come back until just like 4 seconds ago. But I am now prepared, sticking with my bicycle theme. My confidant is a young street urchin who does tasks for me, and I've sort of taken him under my wing. His name is Elliot.
Elliot. Excellent. Yes, legally distinct spelling of siren.
Oh no, that's the spelling in the
Oh, in the show.
That's why it's
Elliot. So Elliot is your
taking
your
that from
protege,
a
your gopher.
filler character from a show.
And I would like to thank Sam for introducing a Sentai staple of the weird little guy that just happens to hang out with you all.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go backwards. Sam, you already had a rival picked. Who's your rival? The person with whom you had a most distasteful experience. They have cut you off on the dance floor, targeted you in battle, stolen your horse, and insulted your honor. Any steps you roll against your rival will have disadvantage. They will have a general dislike of you, may pursue you harder in battle, or be more difficult to persuade in any trade.
Well, of course, my rival is none other than the evil Francis Alamo.
Francis Alamo.
Oh, I never remember that guy.
Well, they keep most of his keepsakes in the basement.
Excellent, excellent. Jeff, your rival.
Yes. AJ Raffles.
AJ Raffles.
Gentleman thief, man about town, amateur cracksman.
Hopper is taken to sleeping on an empty piece of cardboard instead of a couch with pillows. He is quiet, so I will now look the gift horse in the mouth. Jiro, your bitter rival.
So my bitter rival, since I picked my character name as a fire pun based on a French criminal, I'm going to go with a water pun based on a French detective, and say that my rival is Aquas what the heck is Poe's guy's name? Is it Dupreen? No, it's Dupine. Aquis Dupine, who is a investigator who is constantly on our tail.
You're Zenigata. Perfect. Oh, hey, you even have the gun. You are Jigen in this. Well, you have a musket, not a revolver, but close, but good enough.
Yeah. Do we have a rival?
Yes, it is on the dance card.
14.
So once you have finished putting everything on your dance card, we will now move on to your Sentai name. Your team's name. Now, unlike Power Rangers or Super Sentai, you don't have to follow the format already set. You don't have to be Power Rangers blank or blank Sentai blank. The examples the book gives: a Sentai with an example of the Sentai with the Society, knights would want to declare their allegiance and skill, such as the True King's Electric Knights. If your Sentai of judges and lawyers helps keep order across space and time, a name such as the Cosmic Magistrates may be fitting. Our Lady's Academy of the Righteous Flame could be a clever place to study for a group of students that find themselves teaming up. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You can have the dumbest, goofiest name you want. This is about you guys having fun.
Are we going to be thieves for good in service of the crown? Or are we going to be kind of out for ourselves?
Are you privateers or buccaneers?
Yeah.
Why not a little of column A and a little of column B?
I like it.
How about Her Majesty's Retrievers?
Is it like maybe sometimes we're working for the crown and sometimes we're working against it, depending on what's going on at the
That's
time?
just Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I did like Her Majesty's Retrievers. However, I don't have the authority to weigh in and pick the name. I just facilitate.
Yeah. I will say that was the only one of the three answers that was actually a name and not like just a theme.
It's true. Is that what you three want to go with, or do you want to brainstorm a little bit?
Let's throw a couple more out there. See what sticks.
While you do that, I'm going to
like
move on to the
that.
next section, because
Her Majesty's blank. I kind of like that.
I do like the idea specifically of Her Majesty's Retrievers, because then we're each a blank retriever, which would make me the golden retriever.
that's true. You would be Carmine Retriever. What were you again?
Lavender.
No, you were another
Maroon. Yeah,
Maroon Retriever
Maroon.
and the Gold Retriever. Mm-hmm. Which Gold Retriever absolutely sounds like a gentleman thief. This was the work of the Gold Retriever. Yes, I know I picked 1920s radio announcer / 30s film noir goon.
Yeah.
But the point stands. Next, we must name your most fearsome attack. Earlier, we talked about your weapons must combine to form a cool weapon of some kind. We are now at the section, the Magnus Aegis, which is named after a shield but is a weapon. When suited up and ready to deftly conclude a standard combat rendezvous, the Master of Ceremonies will let you know when it is time to bring out a most fearsome attack. All Rangers will gatai, or combine their weapons into one great weapon, known as the Magnus Aegis. Together, you will release a mighty attack that will surely dispatch the nastiest of the Syndicate. The new weapon does not have to be the same style as any of the existing weapons. A grouping of swords can form a great gun that blasts energy, or a collecting of assorted weapons that may become a great flail. You guys get to choose the weapon's name, what it looks like, and what your combination attack is called.
Ooh. What if we combine our weapons and it becomes a flamethrower? Fitting with the
Love it. Yeah.
Objectively funny.
Mysteriously, a whole
But
bunch
it's
of...
like one of those, like, I don't know if anybody else here has played this, but Elden Ring, they have these like flamethrower things are completely stationary and they're absolutely useless that enemies use in a couple areas. That I'm just imagining we combine all our guns together and it's just this big giant like water cannon looking thing that's a flamethrower on legs.
So, what is your Magnus Aegis to be called? I'm putting you on the spot, Sam.
Our giant flamethrower that we all combine all our weapons.
Yes.
Weirdly, I think its name is just Steve.
Steve. Magnus Aegis combination, Steve. I want to, just for the audience, I want to give you the examples listed in the dance book. Rainbow Fever Buster. Super Blitzkrieg Afterglow. Phoenix Stellar Punch. Steve. The flamethrower.
See, you shouldn't put me on the spot, or you get a Steve.
All right, well, I'm going to put Dro on the spot. Now, what's your Magnum Aegis combination attack called? What is Steve's ultimate attack called?
How about... what were our colors? It was maroon, gold,
and
carmine.
what was Jeff's color? Carmine. About what would you call like a mix of those?
Brown.
Let me see what carmine looks like on here. Cause
Orange.
Yeah, it'd be orange.
Well, I mean, it is
carmine is kind of like a peachy
burnt sienna,
color.
maybe.
Yeah. How about burnt sienna, Steve? Crap, I need another S word to preserve the alliteration.
Stream. It's a flamethrower. It shoots a stream.
The burnt sienna Steve stream.
You do realize this means when you guys perform this, you have to all simultaneously yell out, Burnt Sienna Steve stream. Which sounds like something you need to go to a hospital for.
I mean, I already yell that out 5 or 6 times a day, so...
Is that when your heater catches on fire, or when your basement floods?
You use the burnt sienna Steve stream to dry up the basement floor.
There you go. And then that sets the heater on fire.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time you're calling for it, and then the other time you're cursing it.
Yes. So, we now move on to the part where we add the machine into the pod of the machine. Against the machine. You guys actually are piloting the machine this time. You are forming your Colossus, which is a gatai of your 3 machina into a super machina, which you will combine. Once all the rangers have summoned their machina, they will gatai, or combine into one super machina. Like dancers in a double 8, your movements will become as one. Together you will pilot this final form, a Colossus, in order to defeat members of the Syndicate that have grown to an impossible size. What does your machine look like? What does your Colossus look like? I'll remind you, it is a bicycle, a rickshaw, and a fire wagon.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's pretty wheels forward. A lot of wheels involved.
Very large number of wheels.
I would say it's mostly wheels.
Yeah,
Wheels within wheels.
8 wheels, yeah.
It makes me think of the current season of Super Sentai, which is a wheel-themed season. I'm not joking.
Well, we did that on
Now,
purpose, clearly.
does their Megazord just look like a throne from Book of Ezekiel, like just the wheel inside the wheel?
No, it's their weird little guy turns into a giant robot. His name is Bundorio Bunderas because the writer of it really liked Antonio Banderas. I'm not kidding. That's the origin of his name.
That's amazing.
Fantastic. What if it was a biblically accurate angel?
Just wheels upon nestled in wheels with burning eyes.
Yeah. And like,
Yeah,
I was gonna say parts open up and there's eyes, and then the whole thing lights on fire.
Exactly. We just drive around and around and around in a circle until this huge, awe-inspiring creature arises.
We each form a
Wreathed
ring.
in flames.
Each vehicle forms
Of the
one active
horrifying-
ring. That's fantastic. It does say it has to take on the appearance of a great mechanical person.
I mean, according to keep throwing random anime references into this, according to Neon Genesis Evangelion, angels are people. So if it looks like a giant flaming wheel biblical angel, that's a person.
Oh, don't. I mean, at that point, why don't you just go the Gurren Lagann route and say you fly so fast you just form a giant robot made out of fire?
Yeah.
And then Kamina shows up and punches a guy in the balls. Because that's how that movie ended, for some reason.
Oh, I forgot about the movie they did.
Yeah, where Kamina just
right.
showed up again, and then Simon punched the guy in the balls and won the day.
Yes. Trying to think. So we got 8 wheels, we got a rickshaw, we got like a big water barrel, we got a bicycle seat. Where are we in this thing? I'm trying to like picture this in my head, like freaking like AutoCAD break this apart and figure out how this forms something around the three of us.
Yeah, these are all notably like people very clearly visible devices.
Well, it's also supposed to be 300 feet tall, so we're not dealing strictly with conservation of mass here.
Yeah, true.
So I had 2 thoughts. One is like, as we wheel around and around, and it kind of looks like a biblically accurate angel, that's actually sort of like a crown or halo on a being of fire, holding in its hand Steve.
So Steve is
the true name of the sword at Eden's Gate.
I love that the weapon grows too, and it just grabs.
So your Colossus is biblically accurate Steve. Is that what I'm hearing?
The one true Steve.
The one true Steve.
The one true Steve.
The Steve
yes.
above all.
The one true Steve, who is called Sam.
All right, so the Colossus' name is Sam, apparently now. He was the one true Steve.
It's just well, and then the other thought I had was possibly a different direction, which is like 60% of a Voltron, but the arms are just us hanging off the sides.
I was thinking about that, and just like the idea of just like people.
Okay, so
the head is just like somebody that's sitting on the bike seat, holding the handlebars, and they're the top, and then 2 of us just dangling from our ankles, holding on to whatever its weapons are.
So I do actually have a reference point for this.
Is it the Frankie robot from One Piece?
It's not the Frankie robot from One Piece, so that is a good one.
Yeah.
It is the Sheen Universe Robo, which is a combination of EVA Unit 01, Kamen Rider's motorcycle, Ultraman, and Godzilla.
That is an odd group of things.
Here is its...
Also, that's the one I was talking about.
Yes, the Super Frankie Robo. Here is the toy of
That
it.
is,
And here is the cool artwork of it.
Wow.
Where you can clearly see that Kamen Rider's motorcycle just sits on the top as a head. And forms the face.
Yeah.
They even made an animation where they combine together.
His motorcycle just lands on top. Awesome. Well, we have to do that then. Gold's bicycle just lands on top of whatever the rest of this is.
Yes.
And you just pedal like crazy, and that's what powers the feet.
Well, what if we combine the ideas here, and we're all going around in circles and forming the rings that becomes like the biblically accurate angel, which becomes the torso of the one true Steve, from which flaming limbs erupt, of course, because of the fire. But then the head floating above this torso is like a translucent glass ball within which we're all just kind of sitting on uncomfortable seats.
Way too close together.
yeah.
Well, no, we're all just like pedaling, like we're freaking powering the.
Yeah, it's all foot controlled, so our hands are just like awkward.
Yeah.
So two of us have to be on the slope of the sphere, so we're all kind of leaning into each other.
Yes.
And there's no seatbelts or anything, so it's a rough ride.
Brainless, but what the heck is the evil super weapon called from the Ninja Turtles that I'm trying to think of the name of, where they tried to power it by Shredder riding a
Technodrome?
bicycle?
Oh, I love the
Yes.
Technodrome. It's one of the goofy,
Finally, a reference I
Oh,
get.
yeah.
but only the good, like 80s.
Yeah, no, there was an episode where their idea to power it was just like Shredder on a freaking stationary bike.
Yeah, we're not talking about the awkward one in the the recent series. We're talking about the goofy one with a giant Cyclops eye on top. Of the 80s.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the original. Yeah.
This behemoth.
Yes, that thing.
Where it spends the entire series just almost falling off into a pool of lava.
Yeah.
Oh, Krang. You sure were a creature that existed. Just a weird brain and a stomach.
I just don't know why he didn't bother giving that body like an entire head.
The less we know about Krang, I think the better.
Mm-hmm.
I think Krang is largely pharmaceutically inspired. Gonna go out on a limb and say.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Now, the last name I believe we need to do is the Strike ad Infinitum, which is your Colossus's finisher. When in the Colossus, after an exchange of blows in which it is clear you have bested your enemies, the Master of Ceremonies will declare it is time to conclude the battle with a finishing blow. You will strike ad infinitum with unlimited power, bringing any villain to oblivion or any machina to crumble. When the moment is right, with your Sentai describe your strike ad infinitum and select a name that will bring fear to the hearts of your enemies. Examples are Electric Knight's Dynamic Strike, Bestial Fire Slash, or Interstellar Rainbow Bombardment. You have already declared that your Colossus wields Steve as its weapon. So what is your Colossus's finisher with Steve called?
Can I propose to you? The Stever Retriever.
The Stever Retriever.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And what did we decide on was the final full name of your Colossus again? The biblically accurate one true Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who is called Stan? Who is called Sam?
Sam. Biblically accurate one true Steve who is called Sam. And that is everything you guys have to do for character creation other than artwork. Now, artwork is entirely optional. This is a theater of the mind game. The rules are kind of loosey-goosey. As I said at the intro, I don't roll any dice. I describe an action, and you guys respond to it, or you guys want to do an action, and I tell you what to roll for. If I declare an attack against you, and you can roll footwork to dodge, valor to parry, etiquette to throw a confusing insult at someone to make them miss their aim. Whatever you guys want to do to interact with this world, I just facilitate that. Hopper, please, I'm doing my outro. Here he is. Look at him. You can see his little face. He's offended that I won't free him from the prison of my office he wanted in on oh so long ago. So, Her Majesty's Retrievers, as a teaser for the actual game, I would like to share with you a blurb about the adventure we are going to play. The Royalty Rangers Autumnal Formal. This is one of the 2 pre-written adventures. Welcome to Brightwing Academy of High Decadence and Charming Intelligence. Throughout the year, young adults are brought in and taught the ways of high class. The regiment is hard and thorough, pressing students to perfect their manners, social skills, etiquette, and specialty classes such as politics, religion, business, and more. Every year, Brightwing Academy celebrates an autumnal formal as students come to the end of their tenure, and those specializing in sportsmanship put on a show that's much too barbaric for most of the students. You all are to infiltrate this ball and find what the evil syndicate is doing with it on orders for the Queen. But what those orders entail? How will you get your invitation? How will you enter the school? Are you alumnus? Are you current students? We'll find out when we actually play Sentai and Sensibility. That's it. That's all I got. That's the rules. That's the show. Get out of my...
Yeah. I'm trying to decide if it
Good night,
would be
Sam.
weird or not to say good night, Sam.
Which Sam? Neither
you better sleep
neither of
now.
us sleep, so, like, I don't know who you're going to say goodnight to. Oh my! I haven't heard that in like 2 years. We finished recording DDB in February 2023. The last or April 2023. The
Jeez.
last episode came out February 24.
Wow.
Megan
I
had
wish we had that
Megan's
kind of
child
backlog.
is Megan's child is well. We had to finish because Megan was about to give birth.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's not the
No,
best
I'm
reason
not-
to have that much backlog, but...
Legitimately, the day we finished recording, she went into labor.
Oh, wow.
Like an hour after recording, she went into labor.
That's dedication to hold off on that.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, that's some impressive timing.
Yeah, and now that child's almost 2 years old, and it was very weird to see toddler photos of her. Oh, I didn't know you could do backgrounds in Discord. That's fun.
I have the money version of Discord. I think that's one of the things that lets you do.
Oh, Nitro gives you backgrounds.
Yeah.
Oh,
think
that
so.
explains
Which
why
I
there's
gotta
a
remember how
Wumpus
to
behind
change
Sam.
that because there it is.
I don't have Nitro, and I don't know how I turned this on, and I don't know how to turn it off.
This is my
There
shameless
we are.
plug to try and reach 4 people.
There's a thing for me to hide Craig so this freaking bear isn't just staring at me. Isn't there like a hide non-video?
I'm going to go imprison my dog real fast.
Pause for dog.
Much more used to pause for cat.
Usually I have a dog overhead making noise, but right now they're harassing my in-laws.
Best
I'm
possible use for a
impressed
dog.
a Shih Tzu is able to move that door as much as that thing was moving.
I knew that would be the ultimate resolution: is give the dog what it wants.
He wanted his rawhide, which he has, this 16.5-pound menace in my life. D6
I guess
in
he's
your hand.
not in this jam. Oh, Sam just threw all the. Yeah, I think Sam just threw all the bots in this channel.
Well, I accidentally let everyone in the channel for a second, but now it's just Roland that I added. I'm good at computers.
Yeah, I see the entire server list on the side. I think you added everyone to it.
I did?
Yeah, everyone's still here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they've disappeared, so I think they're all still in here.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Time for a purge.
All right.
They got purged.
They're gone?
They're gone.
No one saw anything.
Well,
Oh,
yep.
somebody
Someone
was
was
typing
typing.
for a second there.
Someone started to type.
Oh, no.
Well, it's too late now.
Yeah, when do we get the Dashiell Hammett Power Rangers?
When our extra ranger shows up, when we actually play the game, because they will stay a secret, as is tradition for the extra ranger.
Yeah.
You don't just know Tommy's going to show up, but he shows up eventually.
Do you have a Roblox player on the way?
No. This is a Yu-Gi-Oh household. My kid will come out with a master's degree in English because if you read a Yu-Gi-Oh card, have you looked at a modern Yu-Gi-Oh card? I'm going to show you a picture of
Yeah, they're
what
ridiculous now.
I'm going to show you my favorite one. This is the card with possibly the highest word count in all of Yu-Gi-Oh. Gentlemen, behold, Endymion, the mighty master of magic. A card that has so much text, the font size got reduced.
Oh, my God.
Look, gaze upon, ye
That's
mighty,
obscene.
and
Holy cow.
despair.
That's a novel.
Oh my god.
Sam, you couldn't write For the entirety of
sounds
NaNoWriMo,
like a
more
challenge.
text than's written on this card. George R. Martin pales in comparison to card writer developers for Yu-Gi-Oh!
They're going to have to start making them have little fold-out panels on the cards.
It's just a QR code.
Yeah.
There was a card that's text was so much back in 2007, I want to say, that they actually had to formally introduce the term piercing from Magic in order to have all of the text fit on the card. And Konami was mad about it. And so, my Rangers, I bid you all a fond evening, farewell, and good night.
Good night, Sam.
Fond evening, farewell, and good night, Sam.
All right.
Good night, Sam.